Hey guys, one quick thing before I start the video. Thank you guys for watching. My other versus video, Paladins versus Overwatch, link right there, is about to hit over 1,000 views, which is incredible for me. So if you guys want to see more of these kind of videos, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below what 2 games you would want me to do next. Thank you again. It means a lot that you guys apparently like these kind of videos. So that's what I'll keep doing. But that's enough rambling. On to the video. Hello everybody and welcome to Versus, where I take 2 games that are incredibly similar and I see which one's really doing it better. And I do that by basing my decision off of 5 categories: price, community, skill level, content, and community. And today we are going to be putting Fortnite up against Apex Legends to see which one's really doing the Battle Royale concept the best. Let's get into it. First up, we have Fortnite. Fortnite is a free-to-play Battle Royale game that really doesn't need much, explanation. You've heard of it, everyone has. Even people who don't game have heard of Fortnite. It's got merchandise up the asshole and everything. So, let's look at what you get just by downloading the game. You'll start off with your locker, which will be completely empty and everything. You've got your item shop that you can use to get various different skins and stuff like that. But for the most part, that's all that Fortnite sells is skins. And that's it. The skins and the Battle Pass system, which can be used to unlock more skins and customizable nonsense. So if you're not looking to, if you don't really give a fuck about skins whatsoever, none of it will matter to you. So you don't need to spend a dime on any of that. So, plus to Fortnite, in my opinion. Because I don't like games that that are claimed to be free, and then you have to pay for other things to get an advantage. None of these skins, none of these emotes do absolutely anything. Except just make your character look different. That's it. You got your Star-Lord helmet. You got your guy from Metal Gear Solid. Discount Autobot. And that's it. You could download the game and be on the same level as someone like Ninja. Or fucking Muselk. Well, everyone's on the same level as Muselk. He sucks. But so do I. And that's just it. So, I have to give Fortnite a 5 on this. Yeah, they have a bunch of stuff to sell. They do try and sell you stuff. But it's all cosmetic stuff. Silly things to, just to have fun while you play the game. So, and you don't even have to. You don't have to buy any of it. And everybody's still on the same level. So, in my opinion, they get a 5 for this one. Okay, now it's Apex Legends' turn. Apex Legends is also another free-to-play game. The thing is, you have to pay for the different champions. You start off with 6 of them for free right off the bat. But if you want these other 5, as of right now of making this video, there are 5 more that you have to pay for and stuff. Each champion has its own abilities and gameplay. So, if you are indeed one of the kind of people that's like, hey, I prefer, playing a big thick boy, but he's not quite your style, just running around with shields. You're like, I'd rather just trap people with gas or anything like that. You will have to cough up some money, I do understand why they did this, and, putting in different champions to, make everyone feel different, every character feel different. But I don't like the fact that you have to pay for them, That's a really big hindrance. Like, You got characters like him that are just super high speed and constantly moving and stuff. So, like, that sounds really cool. And you got Mirage, she just launches out copies of him, you know, as like, oh, I'm going to launch this copy of me out into the open. That way, you know, enemies see him from a distance and shoot, and I can get, you know, the drop on them. But, so, like, each champion is completely different. So, like, they obviously do put a lot of work into them, and they obviously want some, you know, money up out of that shit. But as a player, I'm not a big fan of that. And I don't like it. When it comes to their, you know, then they also do have cosmetics. A lot of cosmetics for every gun. You know, every gun type, you name it. Now, getting the credits for these guns is indeed quite difficult. Grinding them out to unlock the champions and to, say, unlock the skins for the various guns is incredibly difficult. You know? And it does leave a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. So, it is indeed one of those free-to-play games that's not 100% free. You know? So, I gotta give this one a 4 out of 5 in this category because it's not truly free in my opinion. You know, you get the trial version for free. The actual game requires some money. So, but hey, who knows? Apex Legends may be able to bring this back. I will openly admit this. Before I started making this video, I hadn't played Fortnite. I didn't want to. In my mind, it was overplayed, overhyped. It was just plastered all over the place, and it was too mainstream for me. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna play it. It seems incredibly stupid. So I never did. But I was one of the most open bashers of this game. You know, thinking it was incredibly stupid. Yeah, I thought it was just Call of Duty, but after playing a bunch for this video, so that way I can get the most unbiased opinion I could, I actually found it to be a lot better than I thought, you know, and it actually proved me wrong. Now, mind you, as of right now, Fortnite's in its Chapter 2 Season 1 mode, meaning it kind of did that whole reset thing. And so it's not back to that full, you know, impulse grenading into this, into flying all over the place, into giant mech Megazord, which then goes and fights Godzilla and blasts off into Jupiter. It didn't do any of it. It's not at that mode right now. You know, it's back to its classic version as of right now. So I feel, yeah, so because of all that, all those things aren't in there, it feels more basic, it feels more, you know, and everything like that, so I'll probably pick a good time to actually get into the game, play a bunch. So, the main problem I have with it, though, is the guns. It's kind of a weird thing. I like it, but I don't at the same time. I like the fact that the guns, the aiming system, you know, shooting in this game is indeed very easy. But in the same presence, it doesn't feel like you're actually shooting a gun. You know, with certain games, when like you pull the trigger, you feel it. You know, and you don't think that is good. So it did get a point off for that. And because of its matchmaking system, it just picks 100 random people and just drops them into a game. So you could get dropped in with someone like Ninja, who's just a boss-ass motherfucker and can kick your ass every single without even so much as giving you a second thought. And you can drop into a game with someone who just downloaded the game. So it's kind of a good and bad thing, you know? It's a good thing because it it various difficulties, various people. You know, you never know who's in this one, so you gotta take every fight super seriously. Or whether it's just some moron with, you know, on his goddamn iPhone pooping on the toilet right now. You know, so you gotta take everything. So I gave Fortnite a 4 out of 5. It's good, but not as good as it could have been. Okay, now let's talk about the gameplay for Apex Legends. Apex Legends has a very fast-paced, constantly moving, sliding kind of gameplay, which I like. You know, it takes some getting used to because it's very different. You know, you have the ability to slide, to pretty much jump, and it's a very fast-paced game. You're constantly moving, you know, you don't really want to be standing still for any reason. You know, there aren't any really, unless you have a you know, like a tank per se, you don't really want to be standing in one place, because this game works better, you know, you play better when you're moving much quicker. And I kind of like that, but it kind of also takes some time getting used to, and it can be kind of difficult, you know, and kind of disorienting. It all depends on how good your computer is. If your computer is just fine, then I don't see that too much of a problem. But it is indeed quite fun. I do like it, so I gotta give this one the same I did with Fortnite, a 4 out of 5. You know, it's really good, but there's still just something preventing it from being perfect. Okay, so Fortnite has a very high and low skill level, which is, you know, kind of weird saying. Fortnite has a high skill level because you can combo various items like the impulse grenades they used to have, the prop guns, and all the various things together to do some pretty damn amazing things, you know. Like, you know, one thing I remember seeing in a video is that you could, you know, use your jetpack to get up really high and then toss an impulse grenade so it goes off right before you hit the ground to launch yourself back up, and then by that time your jetpack will have completely reset and you can get up even higher, you know, to get on top of just about anyone else's fort, you know, to get the high ground. And it's things like that that really make it, you know, like this game really has no real skill cap. You know, you can, as long as you have a good imagination and the skill to do it, you can do it. You know, especially taking some of these death runs you see, for example. They have, you know, they create these incredible things that you can do if you have the skill to do it. You know, and so it's kind of, you know, it has a very low entry level, but a very high, there is no cap, you know, that you really are only as good as you are. So I gotta give them a major plus on that. It's really good, really cool. Okay, now let's talk about the skill level for Apex Legends. Apex Legends has a pretty good skill level, you know, and it starts off at pretty, you know, you gotta be kind of good if you're gonna get started in Apex Legends, and it just raises up even more. Because Apex Legends already has the community of Titanfall, you know, in it, they are used to this new movement speed kind of thing. It takes people who haven't played it, and it makes it much harder to get into, you know. But when you get into it, it is indeed quite fun. You know, you don't take fall damage, so you can literally toss a grenade down and then, you know, follow in behind it, you know, jumping off the building with a shotgun, and so that way as soon as one goes off, you just appear out of nowhere and bam, and kill them. So like it can be quite interesting, quite fun, you know. Or like jumping off that same building, but instead pulling out an AR and grabbing a zip line and just shooting them from above, where you go to a different location. it is quite fun, and that movement, how do I word this? Yeah, that movement capability and that kind of uniqueness is indeed quite fun, but it does take getting used to, you know. And until you do, it's gonna be kind of annoying. It's gonna be kind of hard to get, but as soon as you get it, the rest of the game is great. So the skill level is, it's not very good. It's not very easy for beginners, but when you get it down, you're gonna have a good time. So Fortnite has an amazing amount of content to it. It's got the battle pass system to, like I said, unlock various skins, load screens, gliders, drops, emotes, and so like it really is, you know, it's got that. It's got It's got the challenges to unlock even more secret stuff. It's got competitive, which is currently going through season 1. You know. And then they even do more stuff during the holidays for any major movies coming out. Like, Fortnite really does a lot of stuff for everything, you know, coming out. Like the John Wick movie, like it just constantly is bombarding people with new events and new things to do. That way it never really feels stale, and I gotta give them major credit for that, because if you think Fortnite's probably had some kind of event for it at some point, like Avengers Endgame, they literally did an entire thing for that. They did, like, it's just non-stop with Fortnite, and I gotta give them massive props for that. They never let the game feel old or feel stale. By the time you start getting bored with the Battle Royale feature, they've probably got some new event coming up that you can do there. They've got creative mode, so if you're tired of doing their shit, you can make your own stuff and, you know, and play that way. So Fortnite, you're doing damn good on that. So I gotta give you a 5 out of 5 on this one. Okay, now content. Content, sadly, Apex Legends hasn't had that much. I think they're focusing more on the legends themselves, because since the game came out in February, they've put in about one new hero or legion or whatever, call them what you want. I'm calling them heroes because that's what I'm used to. They've released about one every 2 months, you know, along with the battle pass. Same shit we've seen 1,004 times. But other than their Halloween event that I know just ended, I really haven't heard or could find very much of anything else that happened, you know? So, I mean, sadly, this isn't all that much. It's, you know, it stinks that there's not more going on in the game or everything like that, so there's not much more I can say. They don't have much to talk about, so I gotta give them a 2 out of... 2 out of 5 on this one. Sorry, guys. And now for the last part, which is the community. With Fortnite, it has a lot of people that use mics because it is cross-platform on all things. Phone, fucking Switch, you fucking name it. I bet you that gaming system can fucking play Fortnite. The only problem is a lot of kids play Fortnite, you know? And while yeah, that can be good because sometimes playing with a kid who's just happy to play a video game can be very refreshing for older gamers, you know, that have probably gotten a little bitter, you know, trying to be super competitive and shit like that. Playing with a kid who's just like, oh, I got a kill, you know, it can be very refreshing. But you also get kids that are very immature. So when you're trying, you know, so like when there are those moments when you need to get serious, they're busy, you know, or they're getting very, very angry. It can also take you out of that situation. So that, and as a person who swears a fuck ton, which I probably have a couple of times in this video alone, you know, I do feel the need to censor myself. So it's, I would say it balances itself out. So I gave this one a 3 out of 5. You know, not perfect, but hey, still a hell of a lot better than most, but still better than most games. And lastly is the community. Sadly, the community for Apex Legends is borderline non-existent. From what you get just by playing the game, by, you know, jumping into a squad with people, I've played 20 games straight, and of those 20 games, only 2 people actually said anything whatsoever. And for me, that's a huge discourage, because if I'm going to play a game and I know I'm not going to do all that well, I want to be able to talk to people, to figure out what I'm doing wrong, to try and make some new friends, and shit like that. So, it does stink that you have no one to talk to. So unless you know people that already play Apex Legends, it's not going to be all that fun, because you need to stick together as a group, you know, because it's just, by default, it's a 3-man squad, you know. So you need to be in contact with the other people, or you're just 3 idiots running around by themselves. And yeah, so sadly, I gotta give them a 2 on community as well. You know, they're okay, all the votes have been tallied, the score has been rung up, and the winner of the second Versus episode is Fortnite. I was really hoping going into this, starting, the research for the video, that Apex Legends would win, but the more I played Fortnite, you know, the more it started corrupting me, and it stays on top of its, you know, it stays on top of its game. It keeps, you know, it has the creative mode for people, it has pretty much a little bit of everything for everyone, and so as a result, it always feels like there's something to do, and you gotta give it to them. You know, they're staying on top of it, constantly shoving new content down our throat. And yeah, I would have loved going into this to say that Apex Legends is better than Fortnite, but I gotta stay honest in these, and I have to give the winner to Fortnite. And of course, we have to end this. Well, as he just clearly did. Until next time, guys. Peace.